Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today, let's take a look at the all-new 6th generation Toyota 4Runner. This is a 4-wheel drive limited. Huge shout out to Flow Toyota Statesville for providing this SUV for me today. Take a look at their website. That link is down in the description. This 4Runner is finished off in underground, and with dealer options, MSRP is just over $65,000. Now this is powered by the 2.4 liter 4-cylinder turbo. It's paired to the 8-speed automatic, and it pumps out 278 horsepower, 317 pound-feet of torque. That power sent through that 4-wheel drive system, propelling this 4,600-pound SUV from 0 to 60 in 7.5 seconds. It has a top speed of 113 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 19 gallons. You'll expect to see 19 miles per gallon in the city and 25 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 112.2 inches. Its overall length is 194.9. It has a width of 78, a height of 72.6, and its ground clearance measures in at 9.2 inches. Now, as we take a look at the exterior styling for the latest generation 4Runner, this has a really nice front end design. You'll notice that the Toyota badge is front and center, and then for the limited model, you'll notice more of the chrome accents for the rest of the grille. There's also another sensor down below, along with the forward-facing camera. Plenty of cutouts in that section of the grille. There's also parking sensors too, and then LEDs for all of the lighting with a nice dark housing. And then in the lower section, you'll notice the fog lights are mounted in that gloss black trim accent. There's also an air dam in the lower section to help provide with better aerodynamics. There's tow hooks down there, some more brushed accents for that bumper cover. And then you'll notice too, from the front, you can actually see straight through the fender flares to provide some better airflow. And there's also some really nice lines that come down the hood. Now, as we work our way to the side for this limited model, this particular model has a set of 20-inch wheels along with the Nitto Ridge Grappler tires. You'll notice the fender arches are also body colored as well. There's mud flaps for this model along with the side steps. Limited is also finished off in chrome there. And then there's body colored mirror caps where there's a camera and a turn signal. Now this also has a sunroof and then the optional roof rack system with the crossbar there. So that way you can load up some items on the roof as needed. Really nice design for the side profile along with all of the lines that work their way to the back here. Where this also has a spoiler, there's a third brake light and the wiper blade up top. And then you'll notice LEDs for the lighting. There's the backup camera, all of the parking sensors. This can tow right around 6,000 pounds as well. And then you'll notice the high clearance design for that exhaust on the driver's side. Now, what's really neat with the 4Runner, what they have still retained is the sliding rear glass. So you have those controls on this right side where you can actually lock and unlock the vehicle. So if you push on it twice, that will unlock the vehicle and then roll down the window. So if you have any smaller items, you can quickly gain access. And then if you push and hold on it again, you can raise it up and then lock the vehicle too. Now, if you want to gain access to the cargo space, you'll just use the button underneath where this does have the power operating tailgate or liftgate. So that is very nice to see. You can also use the key fob, of course, if needed. Now, in the back of the 4Runner, you have a lot of cargo space. You'll notice there's some storage on both sides here. As the 4Runner does have an option for a third row, this particular model does not have that, but you still have those areas there. There's also the JBL audio system along with a 12-volt, and then there's some tie-down hooks where you can secure any items. No storage underneath the floor, but you can fold down the back seats to get in a lot more storage. And then up top, you have two buttons to just close the liftgate or lock the vehicle. Now, this also has a full-size spare, and that is mounted underneath where there's also the trailer connection points. Now, as we work our way to the interior, this model has a really nice design with the two-tone. You'll notice a little bit of storage for a drink. You have a little bit of storage behind that, and then the JBL speaker there, and then a cool design for the brown interior. Now, if I just pull on this release here, we can actually fold the seat down and then flip it up as well. So this will give you better access to any items that you have in the back, or of course, you can just have the seats flat depending on what is going to work best for you for the day. Now, you also have a grab handle on both sides. And then at 5'10", I have a good bit of space. There's storage pockets, vents in the middle, along with auxiliaries, so you can use those as well. And at 5'10", I have about 2 inches or so of headroom, and these seats recline very nicely. So for the size of this SUV, it's very practical for adults. You can be comfortable riding around in the back. Now, you do get more cup holders in the middle, along with the armrest. And then it's pretty easy to see around, especially with these massive cargo windows in the back. So you have a lot of visibility. Now up front, this has memory seating adjustments, all of the window controls, power folding side mirrors, and then there's a split design for the storage. You do get automatic front seats, which have a nice design to them. And then no grab handle for your driver. It would be nice to see. You do get a small one for your passenger on that side. But let's start this up, where this has a perforated and solid leather steering wheel. On the right side, there's the cruise control settings with distance pacing, along with mode and tuning. And then on the left side, there's volume and voice commands. And then you have these arrows here to go through the digital gauge cluster. Now, if you just push on the left arrow or the right arrow, you can go between 1, 2, and 3. So these are all presets where you can control what information you would like to see on the left, the middle, and the right side. So you can have all of these set up for maybe daily driving. If you're towing or you're going off-road, you can have all the information you would like to see for those certain situations, which is very helpful. Now on this left side, you actually have the adjustment for the headlight pitch. So you can aim them down or up depending on where you are, the driving conditions that you are in. Very nice to have that. There's a dimmer switch for the gauges, fuel cap release, automatic high beams, traction control, that power outlet in the cargo space. You can open and close that rear liftgate too, and then you have some blanks down below where you could add some additional switches if needed. And then with the JBL audio system, you do have the removable Bluetooth speaker, so you can use that as needed. And then the massive 14-inch touchscreen system. Now this model also has a screen protector on it, which is nice. And then you have the shortcuts on this left side to get through all this information. Now really you're just using this to pair your phone. You don't have a lot to go through with this, but when you pair your phone, you can go through all that information and it's very easy to use with the size of the screen. Now volume's underneath that, along with vents on both sides. You get a little bit of storage over on that left side. And then you'll notice the heated steering wheel adjustment. This has heated and ventilated seats and all of the toggles for the climate. So you have AC, fan speed, where you'd like the air to go, temperature dials for driver and passenger, along with some controls for your rear passengers. And then underneath that, wireless charging. You get auxiliaries with a little bit of storage, grab handle for your passenger, along with this hook where you could place some items and have them down there. Putting this into reverse, it brings up a lot of camera angles. You have the top-down view as well, and you can pull up a few of the 360 angles too, just depending on the visibility that you would like to see. Now you can also put the forward-facing camera on automatic, so at slower speeds that will pop up to give you a little bit more visibility. Now you can shift using the shifter. There's also automatic hold and the e-brake, and then we have the four-wheel drive selector. So it's in 4 high as the default, you have 4 low, and then even another low range gear that you can get into. There's tow and haul, and then the driving modes that you can get into as well. So just depending on how you'd like to drive, you have all of these different modes that you can get into. Mainly it'll just change the throttle response for how you would like to drive. Now there's the engine start stop feature along with the view button, so you can bring that up, and you have 2 different angles here to see around the vehicle as needed. You get cup holders, a little bit of storage in the armrest, and then a locking glove box with plenty of space. You get a storage tray up top along with another auxiliary, so you can charge items and have them up there. And then there's garage door buttons up top, along with the sunglass holder, dome lights, and controls for the sunroof. The sunshade is manually adjusting. And then here's a look at visibility, where very easy to see over both shoulders. As we sat up behind the wheel now for the new Toyota 4Runner, this is actually my first time driving one on the road, but if you're new to the channel, I own a 2025 Tacoma hybrid. So I do have the hybrid system added to this turbo engine, but I have been able to drive the Tacoma with this base engine as well. So this is essentially a Tacoma on the inside from my perspective. We just don't have the pickup on the back. So this is really neat. I have been able to at least see the 4Runners in person. My brother's made a few reviews on several of the trim levels too. So in this limited here, the first full-time 4-wheel drive 4Runner that we've been able to take a look at. And this is really, really nice. Now with the 4Runner in general, you do have a lot of different ways that you can spec this. 6 different trim levels, 2 different engine options. You have a lot of interior options to go with as well. This particular model has about $5,400 worth of options on it, which I've already shown, of course. And again, you have a lot of different ways that you can spec it, even speccing it yourself. Toyota has a program where you can go through a whole list of options, whether it's on-road creature comforts or it's some off-roading accessories, things like that. You can actually spec all of that straight from Toyota's website and add that to your vehicle. So if you're looking to maybe build out your truck a little bit, but you want everything to be covered under a warranty, it's really cool that Toyota is giving you that option. So if you try to build one online, there are so many different things that you can add and just have them come straight from the dealer if that is something you are looking to do. Now with the 4Runner here, since I've been able to drive the Tacomas a lot, that is my best reference for this. This seems to drive very nice. For this Limited, we have a nice suspension for it, and this is going to make for a great daily driver. Now, some more experience that we have, my parents have owned 2 Toyota 4Runners. I think both of them went well over 150,000 miles before upgrading it to a new model. So I have a lot of seat time behind the wheel of 4Runners in general. This is a really nice utility style SUV, but it's also something that can be comfortable to daily drive. So if you're looking for a little bit of that extra utilitarian design with your truck, this is something that could go off-road. You can tow with this. You can pretty much do it all. You have a lot of cargo space as well. It's a great option to go with, and you just have a lot of space and practicality with this truck. Now, in terms of its maneuverability, it's not a big vehicle, so it's easy to drive in place. It would be something good for off-roading if that's something you would like to do with this model. And so even on a narrow road like this, but let's go ahead, give it a little bit of gas. Now, I drove my hybrid Tacoma here to film this, and I can feel a good power difference. There's positives and negatives to both of them, just depending on what suits you best. So if you're not a fan of that additional hybrid system, this still has more power than the outgoing V6. So I can't knock it for anything because it does have more torque at least to help you get up and move. So there's that. There's also the new 8-speed automatic, because the previous generation 4Runner had the sluggish V6, had a 5-speed automatic. It was very outdated. So Toyota finally did some updates. Yes, we don't have the V6 engine anymore, but after 1,500 miles in my truck, along with the other driving experience that I have with the new Tacoma, I really don't have any issues with it. Even with this truck here, it drives so much smoother than the previous generation, even with this base engine and obviously the 8-speed automatic. So it is by far a more superior truck, and it's just so smooth and fun to drive. So I'm in a Sport S Plus right now, and we can use the shifter here. So we'll go from second gear, here we go. And just a mild acceleration, not even quarter throttle if that, and we got up to speed. So this has a good bit of power to it, and yes, you can use the shifter here for shifting, but you can also use it to hold the gear as well. So if I keep it on S6, let's say we jumped out on the highway, it will not go into 7th or 8th gear. So you can use that for towing situations, or if you're off the pavement, you just want to hold the gear, you have the option to do that. But this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for this 6th generation Toyota 4Runner. Definitely a nice vehicle to drive. Seating position is really comfortable. At 5'10", I have about 2 inches or so of headroom, and this does have a height adjustment for the seat. So if you are taller than me, it could work, and you could be comfortable while driving this. Armrest is really nice too. You do have one up here with some of the soft touch materials, which is nice. So just depending on how you're comfortable driving this. But from my experience with my Tacoma, this is going to be a great SUV to drive. Something that's very nice for daily driving and just has that utilitarian design to it if you're looking for a rugged SUV, but one that's also comfortable for your daily driving. So take a look at some of the other content that we've made with the latest generation 4Runner. We haven't been able to take these off-road just yet. We have a lot more experience in the Tacoma if you want to see how that does, but hopefully at some point we will be able to drive these and test their off-roading capabilities. So that is going to wrap it up for today's video. Once again, a huge shout out to Flo Toyota Statesville for providing this SUV for me today. Take a look at their website. Give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with our daily uploads. I'll see you all in the next video.